Hey y'all, guess who's back? Okay, y'all, so finally I am back with a new video, and today is gonna be like, I'm not trying to be sad or, be crying or shed some tears and everything, but I did want to share a situation that happened to me recently with y'all, because I know that it's probably people out there that maybe went through this situation, or you could go through this situation and you're not aware of it. So by me telling you my story, I might could help you through your little journey. So, as you might have seen by the title, I haven't made the title yet, but you probably know at least a little bit of what the video is going to be about. So, after I had, and just so you know, the birth defect thing, it's not about none of my current kids. I have a 9-year-old daughter, she's fine, and my little baby, 7 months old, she's perfectly fine. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the pregnancy I had after I had her. So at 12 weeks postpartum, I found out I was pregnant again. And I suspected it. So I had my daughter in May. And then I got pregnant again in August. So and I didn't find out until October, because like during September it was like I thought I was, but then I was like, nah, I kept like lying to myself. I was in denial about it or whatever. So I finally went to the doctor and they confirmed it with my ultrasound that I was pregnant, and I was due May 13th, before my daughter would even be 1 year old. So I would have had, was it Irish twins? So I found out I was pregnant. So at first I was like, even though I just had a baby, and even though I don't need no more kids, and me and the father, we weren't really on good terms. But even though all that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just keep this baby. I'm going to keep the baby. I'm going to have the baby, because I'm getting a little bit older now. And I just felt like if God, put that baby on me, then it was for a reason. So I was like, I'm going to go through with it. Even though I don't know how I'm going to do it, I'm going to keep this baby and I'm going to have this baby, right? So I went to my first appointment, and how they check the heartbeat, and they do the ultrasound, and them the pictures that I had got from the first ultrasound. I thought everything was good. So after we came out, the doctor was like, well, because by this time I was 10 weeks, I think, because the very first appointment, I just did a pregnancy test and she listened to the heartbeat, and that was it. That was at like 8 or 9 weeks. Then they rescheduled me to come back for the real ultrasound to to do the measurements and do the whole nine. So when we did that, she was like, "Do you want to do birth defect testing?" It's like a blood test where they can test to see if if your baby might have Down syndrome or any other birth defects. And I was like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do it." I did it with my other baby. I was like, why not? If she asking me, I'm not gonna tell her no. So I'm not gonna tell her no. So, and she said you can't do it until you 10 weeks. That's why we didn't do it the first time. But anyway, so, and normally they only do that blood test if you are high risk. Like, it got to be a reason for them to think that you would have a baby with a birth defect. You have to be either 35 or older, or you've had previous problems or something like that. Like, it got to be a reason. They don't just do that for everybody. So the reason like for her even asking me, I don't know why she asked me to do it, but she did, and I went through with it. So about a week later, hold on. Okay. So where was I? So yeah, she asked me to do the testing, and I agreed to it. So about a week later, she called me, and the doctors don't call you unless it's a problem, really. And so I had a feeling. I'm like, damn, what is she finna say? She also had tested me for like, all the stuff down there. So I didn't know if she was finna call back with something saying that I had something or something. But I was just like, oh, what is she finna say? Because she really don't call me unless it's a problem. So she was like, your blood test came back positive for birth defects on the baby. And I was like, what? I don't know. I just be feeling like like that's something that I would never guess could happen to me, like at all. I was just so surprised. I'm just like, well, what's the possibility of it coming up positive, but that the baby really is okay? It's like, is this like what type of test is this? Like, how do they know, or whatever? She was like, and she didn't really have like all the answers and everything, but she was like, so why don't we? She was like, why don't you come back in and talk to the ultrasound guy, like the ultrasound specialist, and the people that specialize in the ultrasounds and stuff like that. And she said, and also so we can do another ultrasound to look at the baby and see, do we see anything that may look like birth defects, too. I'm like, okay, cool. So at that point, when we hung up, I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking like, no, I can't have this baby. Like, if the baby gonna have Down syndrome and I know it, then I'm not gonna keep it. Like, I'm not gonna keep the baby or whatever. So immediately I was like trying to find clinics, making appointments to, not have a baby no more. But I was like, but at the same time, I was like, I'm gonna still go into this appointment and just see what they talking about to get more information. So, and I think it was the next day. As a matter of fact, the appointment was the next day. She was like, so I went in that next day. But so, like I said, my mind was made up. But at the same time, like once I got home and I started going through the details, because and I'm going to put it up on the screen, but like the baby had a cystic hygroma. And it's like something on the back of their neck that make them have like a big neck. And then come to find out, basically, I'm skipping ahead, but come to find out, the baby had it wasn't Down syndrome. It would have been Turner's syndrome, which is something that happens to girls. And the issue with the baby was, like, we all know that people are made with 42 chromosomes. You get 21 from the mom and 21 from the dad. But my baby only had 41 chromosomes. It was missing a chromosome, and it was missing the chromosome that decide what the sex is, because like girls have two X chromosomes and boys have an X and a Y. And my baby only had one X. So I feel like it was missing that Y chromosome, and it was supposed to be a boy, but come to find out the baby was a girl and she was missing a chromosome. So when I went in for my appointment for the ultrasound, they did another ultrasound, and like literally they could see, signs of problems with the baby. And it's just like, wow, well, why y'all ain't see this on the first ultrasound? Because when I went back to look at my first ultrasound picture, the one on the screen, you can see, like, look behind the neck, and it's like a bubble. Like from the back of the head, like this. It's like a bubble. That shouldn't be there. And it was on that first ultrasound. So y'all should have said something then. But it took my doctor for me to do a blood test for that to come back positive, for them to, notice it and see something and say something. So yeah, when I was in there at that second ultrasound, they was looking at it like it sounded bad. Because before I went, in my mind, like I said, I had did my research, and I was like, okay, well, it might not be that bad, because I had wrapped my mind around having the baby. So for me to think that I wasn't gonna have it no more, I was like, no, I still want to keep it, even though it might have a couple problems, because I wasn't aware of how bad the problems really was. So when he started explaining it to me, and then I did more research, it was like, yeah, nah, I can't. Like, I can't have a special needs, a little baby and a special needs baby at the same time. So I do feel like it was a hard decision. I can't remember what night it was that I cried, but I was just sad. Like, even though I felt like I didn't want another baby, or I didn't need one, the fact that it was there, I was just like, well, I'm gonna keep it, and the fact that I had to make a decision not to keep it, it really hurt my feelings, and it just make me look back on past, like, abortions that I've had, and it just, here I was killing babies basically for absolutely no reason, healthy babies, and now I'm in a situation to do it again, like, I guess for a reason. But I don't know, I just tried to look at it like, maybe God knew that I didn't need the baby, and so he did that because he knew I wasn't gonna keep it. I don't know. But ladies, if you are pregnant and you are even 30 plus, I would highly recommend getting blood tests for birth defects, because if my doctor hadn't have caught it at 10 weeks, the next ultrasound is not until like 20 weeks, when they tell you if it's a boy or a girl. So if we would have waited till the baby was 20 weeks to tell me that, what, I'm gonna go have an abortion at 20 weeks? Like, come on now. So I'm glad we caught it early. But what he was telling me was like the problems that the baby had. He was just saying that the baby probably wouldn't even make it to full term anyway, and that it'll probably be like a stillborn. And that's even worse too, because that's worse than a miscarriage, because at least with a miscarriage, the baby come out, it come out and it's done. But a stillborn, that means it's still in there and it's not coming out. So they still would have had to go in and deliver it. So here I am delivering a baby that's not even alive. Yeah, so yeah, it was a hard decision, but my insurance, believe it or not, y'all, that's why I'm making this video, just to kind of, put some education out there. My insurance actually paid for the procedure. They actually paid for an abortion to be done because of all the problems that the baby had. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of sad about it, but and I asked them like, why did this happen? Is it something I did? And I do think it's something I did, but they keep telling me that it's not. And even when I read about it, the Turner syndrome, it said it's like it's rare. It's random. They said it's random and it's very rare that it happens like that. And it's not nothing necessarily that you did or didn't do, but science, can make mistakes. Everything ain't always perfect. And I guess when the baby was forming or doing whatever it was doing, it didn't form properly, But I think because at that time I was taking some diet pills to lose weight. After I had my first baby, I was taking diet pills. And I think I was taking the diet pills while I was pregnant, but I didn't know I was pregnant. So I think them diet pills did that, because I'm healthy and I can make babies. So I don't know. I really think it was the diet pills. They telling me that it's not, but I think it was. So yeah, the babies, they so precious. And until you have a situation like that where something is wrong with your baby, you almost cannot even appreciate having a healthy baby that don't have no problems. Like, I know it seemed like it's normal, but there is cases, where people have Down syndrome and all this different type of stuff. And I think if people could catch it early, that they probably wouldn't even go through with it. But yeah. So my baby had a birth defect, and I made a decision, to not go through with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if anybody else been through that situation where you had to make a decision like that, or if you were surprised that something was wrong with your baby and it was too late to make a decision and you just got to deal with it, or But yeah, it can happen to anybody. It doesn't, like, there's no color or gender or, nationality that it happens to more or less, whatever. So ladies, if you're pregnant, make sure you get tested to make sure that your baby is okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, y'all. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel. I got more videos coming. I don't know what new videos I got coming yet, but I just pretty much go with the flow, so you never know. But anyway, see y'all next time. Bye.